to the poor. You'll have treasure in heaven, and then come follow me. And this idea of treasure, and I'm going to start to wrap up, this idea of treasure is something that really stuck with me, right? Is God, is Jesus really my treasure, right? For the young people that are making decisions right now in your life, as you look out and your whole life is ahead of you, and you begin to ask yourself this question about your purpose and why did God create you? And we're struggling, right? We struggle with school, and I'm so grateful that I'm not in school, right? Because I remember what that was like, and a lot of my issues, a lot of the agreements that I made with myself came through school. And so stay close to your other friends, stay close to people that believe that Jesus is their platform. And so this idea about treasure, right? And so it says the man went away sad, right? Guy had an honest question. Went away sad. Why did he go away sad? He went away sad because he had many things. He had many possessions. And so this isn't a message for those that have a lot of money. This is a message for those that are in this world and that struggle with the same distractions that we all struggle with. Lust or anger or greed or our jobs or whatever it is we struggle with, thinking that Sunday is enough, right? But all of us struggle in different ways. Video games might be some people's thing. For me, it's sports. So whatever it is. And so there was a book that I had read, and I'm going to read the book, and I'm not endorsing anything other than the fact that the book spoke to me, and it spoke to this message about treasure. And so I read this book last summer. The book is called Radical. And the beginning of the chapter says it's a call to treasure. And so I'm going to read it with a little bit more dramatization because I think it means more sense. It says, "Did you catch what Jesus said when he told the rich man to abandon his possessions and give to the poor?" Listen again, very particularly to the second half of the invitation. He said, "Go sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven." If we are not careful, we can misconstrue these radical statements from Jesus in the Gospels, and we begin to think that he doesn't want what's best for us. But he does. Jesus wasn't trying to strip the man of all his pleasure. Instead, he was offering him satisfaction of eternal treasure. Jesus was saying it will be better, not just for the poor. It'll be better for you when you abandon the stuff that you're holding on to. It says we see the same thing in Matthew 13. Jesus tells his disciples, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure in a field, right? And it ties into in the fields tonight, right? Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven, what do we say the kingdom of heaven is like? The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. It says when a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy he sold everything he had to buy that field. He says, I love this picture. Imagine walking into a field and stumbling upon a treasure that is more valuable than anything else you could ever work for or find in your life. It is more valuable than all you have right now or will ever have in the future. You look around and you notice that no one else realizes the treasure's there, so you cover it up quickly and you walk away pretending you've seen nothing. You go into town and you sell everything you have, all your possessions, to have enough money to buy that field. The world, they think that you're crazy. What are you thinking, your friends and family ask you? You tell them, I'm buying that field over there. They look at you in disbelief. That's a ridiculous investment, they say. Why are you giving everything that you have? You respond, because I have a hunch. You smile to yourself as you walk away, and you smile because you know that in the end, you're really not giving away anything at all. Instead, you are gaining. Yes, you are abandoning everything that you have, but you're also gaining more than you could have in any other way because you have found something worth losing everything for. This is the picture of Jesus in the gospel. He is someone worth losing everything for. And if we walk away from Jesus, we walk away from eternal riches. And I love this line. It says that the cost of non-discipleship, the cost of not going, the cost of not caring for the things that God cares for, the cost of not encountering God in your own private and personal way and not responding to the same heart. Because the Father's heart, guys, the Father's heart is the same heart he has for us. The same heart that sacrificed, the same heart that came, the same heart that died, the same heart that pursues us is the same heart that pursues the fatherless. It's the same heart. It's the new heart that we've been given. And so it says that the cost of not going, of non-discipleship, is profoundly greater than the cost of discipleship. It's greater. That means that not going is going to cost you, not responding is going to cost you more than going ever will. Does that make sense? It's going to cost you more to not go. It's going to cost you more. Chris, could I imagine what would it look like to encounter God in this way? To see what I saw, to feel what and I mean wept. To feel and encounter God in that way and not respond. Do you know how hard it would be? Do you know how much denial? Do you know what the kind of distraction that we have to bring into our life to pretend that God didn't do everything that he did? To think that Jesus didn't sacrifice everything for you or for me, and I'm not going to respond to that? Of course I'm going to respond. I can't not respond. I can't go away sad anymore. I can't continue to live with this feeling that I'm wasting my life sitting in some office worrying about the next restaurant we're going to open. Somebody else can worry about that. I can't worry about that anymore. And so don't just take my story, apply it to your own life. What is discipleship for you? What does it mean for you to follow Jesus? I believe that each person here has encountered God in their own way. That even in this moment, God is speaking to you in the very areas that you're not responding. And it's in those areas that we have to respond. Right? And so we respond. And so my wife and I and my children, we're going to go. We're going to go. I was in Nicaragua and Costa Rica last weekend. I got back Tuesday night. I leave for Honduras on Sunday. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I'm not a professional missionary. Listen, man, I sat there. Those are some long days when you don't speak Spanish. And I think they're even longer because I think God's going to impart some special language to me, and I'm going to receive everything that's being said. And I know what Rich is saying because I know how Rich speaks and what he talks about, right? But I'm not a professional missionary. This isn't something I've trained for. Right? I had an encounter with God. Very simple. I encountered God. God revealed to me his heart. And the only response that I could possibly muster was, I'll go. And if that means that I'm going to walk away from the income that I had to walk away from, then that's what that means. Right? I have to believe and I have to trust that Jesus is my treasure. And that the cost of not going will be greater for me. And so I think the last thing that I wrote on this piece of paper, a lot of pages. a lot of pages there. The last thing I wrote was, you're darn right we're going to celebrate. Amen. You're darn right we celebrate. We celebrate because we have been set free. Because God has given us his heart. It's a heart for the fatherless. All we have to do is respond. The gift, it's been given. There's nothing we have to do to earn salvation. There's nothing else that we have to do. We have to respond. And so my question, are we going to respond? Are we going to respond? We're going to respond. Respond in your way. Don't respond in my way. Respond in your way. God has gifted each one of you in a very special way. Respond to God. And so you know what? There's going to be one more video that we're going to see and we're going to worship. But let's celebrate that God has given us a new heart. And let's make a difference. Let's change the world. That's what the disciples did, right? Jesus invested in 12 men, and those men changed the world. God invests and pours into us, and men and women pour into us, and I believe we can change the world. And so, God bless you guys. Thank you.
See, there is a caste system in heaven, but it's exactly backwards from the caste system this world naturally creates. This world applauds and esteems the wealthy and the powerful and the privileged and the talented. That's not how God's system works. Jesus came and he proved it. He took the lowest spot and he was God. The bigger you get in the kingdom of heaven, the lower position you take. The special ones in God's kingdom are the weak ones. The ones who can't fight for themselves, the ones that can't speak for themselves, the ones that don't have someone to feed them, the ones that don't have someone to protect them. And Jesus says those are the prized ones, and you treat them as the royalty here on earth. And the way you treat them is ultimately the way you're treating me. What you do unto the least of these is how you're ultimately treating your God. Christianity is taking what has been purchased by the cross, the behavior of heaven, nature of Jesus Christ, and transplanted it into the heart of men and women down here on earth, so that they behave not like this world, but like heaven. And so when this world sees them, they're different. There is something odd about them. They are from another realm. What does it look like? It's noble. It's brave. It's courageous. It's selfless. It is willing to spend itself for the weak. I was doing some study on Liberia. If you want to be disturbed, start studying Liberia. This 4-year-old boy who's sitting on the side of the road, no one to comfort, no one to take him in, no shelter, no food, nothing. So in the middle of that night, I wake up. And it's like God had already deposited a question. It was waiting to meet me when I popped awake in the middle of the night, 2 in the morning. I had this picture of this little boy in Liberia in front of me. And God asked me a question. What if that was Hudson, my 4-year-old? Eric, what if that was Hudson? You don't mess with a father's heart. What if that was Hudson? If my boy was on the side of a road across the world from me, suffering, totally alone, not knowing what's happening. He's not old enough to comprehend this. He's abandoned. He has no one to fight for his cause, no one to give him a voice. He doesn't even know how to articulate his circumstances. He's hungry and no one's feeding him. He's starving to death. If my son is in that situation, stick a concrete wall in front of me and I claw through it with my bare hands. This is my son we're talking about. And if I couldn't get there, I would call up every friend I have. And I would say, I have a son over in Liberia. You call yourself my friend. I need you to get on a plane. And I need you to get to him. I'll give you the coordinates. I'll do whatever it takes. But I need you to get to my son and be a father to him. God's response. Eric, that's my Hudson. That is my Hudson. And he's looking to us. And he's saying, I'm calling up everyone I know. Everyone on my list that calls himself by my name, that says they're a friend of God. And I'm saying, my son is over in Liberia. Are you willing to get on the plane and get to him? We have a cause, but we don't want to see it. And it's when we finally acknowledge the fact that something is wrong with us, not with the world out there. If we start with this little group here, and we say, God, you need to fix this. I suffer from depraved indifference. So do you. Oh, we care. It's not that that doesn't move us at some level to hear about this little child over in Liberia. We care, but we can go home tonight and sleep just fine. How is that? It's because there's an indifference to that life. And it's naturally born within us. That life isn't affecting us. It's not in our backyard. We're not related to it. It's someone else's issue. In fact, we start quoting scriptures about God being a father to the fatherless. We're like, thank you, God, that you're a father to that child. He says, remember, you call yourself my body. I'm not there except through you. Your hands, Eric, those are my hands. Your feet, those are my feet. That heart, that's my heart. And if it's not beating, my heart's not beating on this earth anymore. I work through my body. I'm a father to the fatherless through my body. I rescue the weak and the vulnerable through you. And if you're not doing it, no one is. There is a solution for our disease, which is known as sin. And it's Jesus Christ. There's a solution for these dying children. It's Jesus Christ. Might sound overly simplistic. That's it. That is the solution. Because Jesus Christ will change a man like Eric Ludy into a man that feels what Jesus Christ is feeling. And he cannot stay in suburbia USA anymore and do nothing. Heroes are made because they are moved, not in their head, but in their heart. You have to be moved at such a level where you will shed blood. Jesus Christ was moved, for God so loved the world that he gave. And that son that was given suffered and died for what? For the cause that is being laid before us tonight. It wasn't head knowledge about the disaster taking place in this world. It was life abandonment unto the cause of those that are dying, unto the eternal souls that are around us. Do we care at the level God cares? Do we carry a burden? When we go home tonight, will we grieve over the fact that those children are God's children, and he is longing for an advocate to stand up and say, I'm willing, God, to fight for what is yours. I'm willing, God, burden me. When Jesus was in Gethsemane, you know what he was there for? He was there for life. He was burdened with the weight of it all for life. And he was willing to sweat great droplets of blood. Are we? For our King and his glory, we will rescue these little ones.